Hi, my name is Matthew. I am currently a student at Liberty University, and I had an assignment where I had to interview somebody within the field of psychology. I chose to interview the high school director of school counselors, as it was an opportunity to get a better understanding of some of the aspects of what it would be to actually be a school counselor. Now, a lot of times, school counselors are not always viewed as psychologists, and they are a branch of psychology. And they do a lot of great work within the school systems, helping the students and the future generations as they traverse such new territory from elementary school all the way to high school, even branching out into college. The individual I chose to interview was Miss Robin Mitchell. She is the school director of school counseling for King George High School. And some of her qualifications is she does have a master's of education, a national certified counselor, and a national certified school counselor. Now, with some of her degrees and certifications, these are some that have to be renewed on a regular basis. So that is one way that she does continue her education is by constantly taking night courses to ensure that she is up to date and qualified at all times to assist and help her students. When discussing with Miss Mitchell kind of the career path that she took, just because I felt that was an important understanding of why she is where she's at now. She did start off doing social work in the beginning. Then she had moved into doing work within the elementary school as a school counselor. She had worked in middle school. At one point, she went to work for the school board itself. And then, after going back and forth a few times with the school board and other positions, she finally settled in at the high school as the national school, the school director of school counseling. She said, out of everything that she's done in her career, this has probably been the most rewarding and the most enjoyable portion of her career, and she absolutely loves it. Now, I wanted to get a little bit more in depth with Miss Mitchell to get an understanding of kind of what her day kind of was like. So, starting off, when she gets to the school, she is the head of the team for all school counselors. So, she's the one that assists in developing their plans, making sure that they know who students that they're going to be assisting, and kind of divvying up the caseload, making sure that everybody is able to complete their work and assist the students as needed. Now, this does not mean that she herself is no longer meeting with students. That is probably her absolute favorite aspect of the job. And even though a lot of school directors of school counseling do have the option to remove themselves from taking on a caseload, Ms. Mitchell said that that was the only way that she would ever take this position. She enjoys meeting with the students, speaking with them, and getting to know them a lot better. Now, twice a year, there are set meeting times for students. These are normally career driven, so kind of the classes that they're going to take this year, next year, how they're adjusting to the new class schedule, things of that nature. But Ms. Mitchell did say that she also takes that opportunity to really get an assessment of the students, to truly understand who they are, where they're at currently, and to provide guidance and assistance as needed. So, this is the most fulfilling aspect of her position and probably the most enjoyable. Now, with anything, there's always a good side and a bad side. The most challenging aspect of her job, and the one that she hates doing the most, is when it comes to suicide assessments. So, unfortunately, within the school system, especially as the students are trying to navigate life, figure things out, there are times of depression, and during those times, they can lead to suicidal thoughts and tendencies. Part of Miss Mitchell's job duties is to assess the students to see if they are at risk to themselves or others. Now, she takes no enjoyment out of this, and it is a really difficult portion of the job to where, in a perfect world, she gets to the students in time before anything happens and is able to provide them and the parents with proper assistance to get them the help that they so much need. Another aspect of the job that is really challenging is the absentee. So when students miss out, they don't just miss out on schoolwork and they do not fall further behind. They miss out on opportunities for getting to know their peers, getting to know their teachers, and more importantly, to get to know their counselors. The counselors cannot assist a student when they are not there. And this also goes for parents that are not very active within the school. Unfortunately, there are different circumstances where a parent may not be able to fully participate within their student's career path throughout school. But the more involved that the parent is, the more involved that the student can be as well. Now, Miss Mitchell has accomplished quite a bit in her tenure at King George High School. One of the things that she is absolutely most proud of was the ability to secure a grant for the school that allowed for a telehealth option. Now, this telehealth option did not only just allow for telehealth medically wise, but psychology wise as well. So students have the ability and the option to reach out to licensed therapists free of charge and provide guidance and help when needed. Uh, Going kind of back to the absentee student and parent, when the information such as that is not properly distributed, then it is an opportunity that misses both students and parents, and it's not a resource that they're always aware of. So Ms. Mitchell is constantly looking for different ways to expand the connection between teacher, counselor, student, and parent to ensure that all resources are not just available, but known as well. Now, one of the big things that Ms. Mitchell does, as I mentioned, is continue her education frequently. She is always working after hours to ensure that she is continuing her education. She takes night courses to stay up to date on her certifications, to obtain any new certifications that may be beneficial to her role as the school director of school counseling, and any night courses that are just refreshers to make sure that she is not losing a step within her role as the school director of school counseling. She also goes to many different conferences throughout the years. She does focus primarily on conferences that are beneficial directly to her line of work. There are plenty of conferences throughout the state and throughout the nation that are geared more towards elementary school students, middle school students, and high school students. There are even conferences geared towards collegiate students. Miss Mitchell tries to attend the colleges or the conferences that provide her the absolute most resources and takeaways. If she goes to a conference at a destination such as Disney World, and after one of the speakers is done, instead of going out into the park to enjoy it like most people would, she's rushing back to her room to actually start working on the information that was provided to her. That is what she considers a successful conference. Now, when the information is not as productive to her personally and what she needs, then she does not deem that as such a successful conference that she would more than likely attend again. Now, this is not to say that any conference is better than the other. Again, these are all geared to her personal growth. And that goes into the end of the conversation that I did have with Miss Mitchell when I asked her some of the advice that she would give to somebody that is seeking a career such as hers. And the number one thing that she said, and that everything came back to, was never stop learning. So, throughout the course of the conversation, everything that we spoke about always came back to continued education. In the field of psychology, it is constantly growing. In the field of school psychology and school counselors, it is constantly growing. There are new methods, new techniques that are being developed on a regular basis. And the moment that you stop learning, you become stagnant and you can no longer use those techniques to help those students. So, her biggest piece of advice is attend every conference that you can. And once you find the ones that provide the best takeaways for you and your growth, never miss that conference. Always, always, always be reading a book. There are plenty of different authors that are out that are not only strictly school counseling but psychology in itself. The more information that you can digest, the more information that you can regurgitate to those that need it. And then the other option she provided was listening to podcasts. There are plenty of different speakers that are constantly uploading videos on daily podcasts that provide great information. And with information that is so easily accessible, if you're not learning, then you're doing yourself and your students a huge disservice. I hope that whoever watches this video has some good takeaways that can benefit them, especially if they do choose to go into school counseling. And I leave you with the words of Miss Mitchell: never stop learning. Thank you.